Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig Patterson for DS Sports as always, and we're back. We're reviewing the previous encounter, Scotland versus Austria, after Thursday night. It's been a couple of days since I've managed to find some time to make this video after the game, just after a couple of later shifts I was doing at work, so I didn't quite have enough time to manage a review show, but nonetheless we're going to be looking back on it, and then we're going to be looking ahead to what might happen against Israel, and potentially what good points and bad points we've taken from the game on Thursday night. As always guys, remember to leave a like on the channel, comment anything, any reaction you have to the game itself, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we're going to be doing more shows, especially after the Israel game. And it's going to be some informative pieces coming next week as we get rid of the international break and head back into domestic football. So Scotland 2, Austria 2, a very lively second half, you could say, after it all. Fascinating really. First half I thought Austria kind of settled into the game a lot better than I expected them to. Well, certainly they settled in to a rhythm where I thought, okay, this could be a bit of a tough game we've got here. Could be like a classic, better team comes to Hampden, scores the first goal, and then maybe scores 2 or 3, and stuff like that. Kind of takes their hold in the game, and we can't really create much going forward. But after a wee sort of 20-minute, half-hour spell where we kind of struggled away into the game, couldn't really create anything as much, I thought we were brilliant. I thought Scotland did really well, and I think when you look at certainly both of the goals, which we will do in a sec, I think we did fine. I think overall there was a lot of good things about the game, a lot of really good tactical nuances about the team, where I thought, if we continue doing things like this, we're going to be a problem at the Euros, especially later on as we go through the qualifying campaign as well. First of all, the team selection itself, as we kind of expected, it would be a 5 at the back, essentially, with a sort of free man or a midfield type as much. But I was quite surprised it was listed as a 3-4-3. But to me, it was kind of a 5-2-2-1 in essence. Obviously with Robertson and O'Donnell basically creating the width, but also, being in being the sort of defensive stalwarts as well when we needed them to. And then I think the surprising thing was they had Armstrong and Christie playing either side of Lyndon Dykes, and I thought it didn't really work. I think the sort of that combination didn't really create what we think they probably should be doing. I think they kind of looked too much at let's get men in midfield or let's get men linking play, whereas you've got Lyndon Dykes. He was winning headers all night, and he was, especially in the first half, and in those instances rather, you need runners. So I think if we had Forrest and Ryan Fraser playing, brilliant. Obviously Forrest isn't in the squad at the moment, but if we had Ryan Fraser and, hypothetically speaking, Ryan Fraser and James Forrest playing beyond him, I think we might have had more of an opportunity. Didn't turn out to be a case. I thought they did okay. I thought they weren't really in the game as much as I think they should have been, which is obviously a bit of a shame. Maybe something that we could look at, certainly in the Israel game, whether that's something we need to counteract the midfield they've got is a question that we'll find out tomorrow night. I'm recording this late Saturday night because I've just got home from a late shift. So hopefully I'll get this filmed and edited tonight and uploaded in time for the game for kick-off tomorrow in Israel. But yes, as I was saying, so I thought there was certain things we did. I thought did really well. I thought the back three were actually fairly comfortable. I was actually quite impressed with Jack Hendry on Thursday night. Came into the team, did his job, solid defensively, good on the ball. certainly those were question marks when he was at Celtic. He's now gone to Belgium at Ostende, and he's been brilliant. You know, from what I've heard, he's been really great, and you know, I think it was a great move to get him out there, and you know, whether that'll be for the long term or something that the future Celtic manager will look at to bring him back is a question that will probably be answered in the short term, especially over the summer. So yeah, Chuck Henry plays really well. Grant Hanley controlled that defence really well. I thought did really well. I thought Tierney and Robertson were brilliant, kind of going about the business on the left side, created brilliant attacking width, and I think the combination, you know, one going and one not, it allowed both of them to free themselves up. You've also got McTominay he naturally plays a bit deeper. He can play in a sort of centre half position if he needs to as well, to cover for Tierney going forward. Robertson creating the width in his usual manner, and I thought they were brilliant. I thought Robertson probably had one of his best games in a Scotland shirt for a wee while. His crosses all night were terrific. Did kind of everything we asked him to. There's a lot of funny people going about saying Robertson should be dropped. Robertson should be playing left centre back instead of Tierney, and they should swap. And serious questions about dropping Robertson. I thought he was brilliant against Israel. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and somebody who I think we can't really be. He's undroppable. He's a captain. He's probably our best player. Our most experienced player, has won it all. You know, I think it's daft to suggest that we get rid of him, and you know, I find it a bit daft. But anyway, I won't rant too much about that. I mean, it's not so much a rant, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't think there was actually really any players that were really bad on the night. I would probably say like Dykes was a little bit underwhelming, because I mean but I don't think it was necessarily his fault. Like, he was winning headers, but he wasn't linking play as effectively. I think there had to be a bit more sort of movement around him, or a bit more sort of free flowing football around him, to really get play going for the team. And it's a shame, because like he was winning headers, wasn't going anywhere, and it was a shame. But you know, I thought everybody kind of did their part, and I think special praise has to go to Stephen O'Donnell. He came up against David Alaba on Thursday night, and he was like one of the world's best utility players. Well, utility players in terms of sort of they play in a lot of positions. So it's like he plays left back, he plays centre back, he can play CDM. I think he's even played as a number 10 before for Austria, and he played further forward in the left side as well. I thought they nullified him really well, and I thought Stephen O'Donnell was a big part of that. So I think, yeah, absolutely good performance by him on Thursday night. And like I say, not many players did a bad job on Thursday night. So a lot of good performances going forward, and a sort of unique style of play which I think can upset Israel, which I think is the main thing we need to do, because 3 points against Israel away from home would be a massive result, and you know, one that can certainly uplift the team against what is probably going to be an easier game against the Pharaohs on Wednesday night. Talking through the goals then, second half, they all came in. Kaladzic, yeah, I thought it's a difficult one, this goal, because obviously the shot gets taken. He should be closed down a lot sharper. Didn't happen. Shot comes in. Marshall makes a save. He made so many great saves throughout the night. Saves it. He's just unlucky. I think he's just unlucky. Can't quite parry it out to safety. Just falls to the big man, and he hit. And yeah, it's an easy goal. And you know, that's just one of these things that happens in football. I don't think there's really anybody to blame other than you probably could have closed down the original shooter a bit quicker. Didn't happen. So be it. Brilliant free kick for the second goal, for the equalising goal. And Grant Hanley, imagine putting Grant Hanley on your anytime goal scorer accumulator. at any point. And brilliant header. Keeper should do better, but you take those if you're a Scotland fan. It's a free header in the end. But yeah, a brilliant ball. I think it was Robertson who put the ball in. I can imagine it would have been fantastic equaliser. Really gave us a big boost going into the last half hour of that game. And then the Austrian second goal is miraculous. How Kaladzic gets anything on that, how he generates so much power, and the direction of it is remarkable. And I think it's just one of those where you kind of just have to stand back and think, wow, there's nothing you can do to stop that. And it's a fantastic goal, and it really did bring a really deflated. It deflated me, but I would imagine it would have definitely deflated some Scotland fans, many Scotland fans around the country, because we were really starting to build, and it looked like we were kind of on top in the game at that point. And to have that sucker punch with 10 minutes to go, and it's not easy, but brilliant fight back from the lads. We should have had a penalty and all that. Like I think it was Ryan Christie who was in there, and he's been rugby tackled by a centre half, and at any angle you look at, it's a clear pen. It's a clear as day pen, but it's one of these things. Austria kind of looked like they had a very, very legitimate goal ruled out for a foul in the centre half. It was Kaladzic again with a strong header from within 6 yards, somehow deemed a foul. But yeah, another one that you kind of take as a Scotland fan. But John McGinn, there's so many words to describe this goal, so many ways that this goal has been described. It's a brilliant finish. It is simply brilliant. Ball comes back in, and the improvisation to do that. It's a brilliant finish, right in the corner. A wonderful equaliser. I was surprised there maybe wasn't an offside flag in there, and it's kind of hard to tell in the replay because it's not really so much a still frame of that goal for when the ball's being played back in. It looks like it's relatively level, but yeah, a brilliant equaliser, back to 2-2, and it was kind of a fair result on the night. And I think you do kind of look back as a Scotland fan, you think we need to win these home games against teams like that, because going away from home against them is going to be extremely difficult. It'll be the same with Denmark as well, I think, and teams that are better than us in this group. So it is what it is, though. It's a shame that we didn't get all three, but we'll take a point. They haven't played for a wee while. A huge amount of positives from the performance. It's now about going to Israel and not getting beat, or well, certainly not doing anything other than win. Yeah, I feel like I've said that. I'm gonna be a bit tired. Have I got that right? Yeah. Not doing anything other than win. Yes, okay. So basically winning at all costs. We have to go and beat Israel in Israel, because it's a very tricky opponent. We know what it's going to be like. I think the one thing I'd like to see be changed is I personally am not a fan of the 3-4-3. I don't like it. I think you take players out of midfield by doing that, and you've got to ask a lot of the two players out either side of the striker, and I think that it didn't work with the personnel in that front. So I think we need to be a bit more straightforward, bring an extra man deeper into midfield, have maybe two shuttlers either side of McTominay in the middle of the park, who was brilliant, I thought. And yeah, having two players that can roam about and kind of be a bit, create some play, and perhaps even link up as well to Lyndon Dykes and the other centre forward in there. But yeah, I think it's very interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night. It's a massive game. Win tomorrow night, and you're starting to really believe that maybe this could be the campaign for us. And especially when we go and beat the Faroe Islands, 7 out of 9 points from the first three. you'd probably take that. You know, Austria are a very good team, and you don't know what type of team that Israel are going to be. So, all in all, I think it's a very good start for Scotland. An opening point, 9 games to go. Going to be an incredibly tough campaign, and going to be an incredibly interesting one as well. But until the next one, guys, we'll be back after the Israel game to look at that, see what happens in that one. I'll be able to watch it again, thankfully. But yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys, as always. Yep, we'll be back after the Israel game to review that and look ahead to the Faroes. So, thank you very much, guys. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, as always. Be a big help to the channel. Always appreciate the support. And yeah, thank you very much. We'll take good care. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be back again soon. See you later.